Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
Okay, I really want to talk about this story with regarding police and some. There's been a couple of violent incidents toward police officers, and I don't think these are. I don't think they're very good at all. I think it's a very well. It really shows the direction, the attitude that the public have towards police officers at the moment. Police shouldn't have to. They shouldn't be subject to violence when they're simply doing their job. However, I just want to go into some of the what I believe the reasons behind it. This isn't condoning any of these actions at all. I think it's disgusting. However, I think police in general, and maybe not just the police on the ground, but the leadership within all of the jurisdictions, state and territory, and the federal, they need to look at their own efforts and how they've helped. They've really fertilized the ground, which has created this attitude that that possibly police can just be treated as punching bags. They've allowed this to occur. They've helped it along. So we'll just get into the story. And coming up here, we've got some comments by the QPS Union, Queensland Police Service Union representative, Shane Pryor. Okay, so this actually happened a few days ago. So three Queensland police officers were assaulted in Fortitude Valley. The violent assault of three officers in Brisbane's nightclub precinct is further evidence of growing hostility towards police. This is what the Queensland Police Union says. A man and two women have been charged over the alleged serious assault of three officers in Fortitude Valley on Friday morning. That's the other thing I've noticed that women, and I noticed this when I was on the job still, when I was in the police, that women in me actually sometimes you think I was a lot more wary of the women that were hanging around. I always felt like there was more of a threat from women just coming up and trying to clock you than some of the blokes that were standing around. Anyway, it's like women have a completely different attitude now towards fighting and towards punching. They don't mind swinging a couple of punches. Anyway, so police will allege the officers were patrolling near Brunswick Street and Wickham Street at about 4 a.m. before responding to a disturbance at a nearby business. So upon arrival, officers were talking to those involved in the disturbance when the man and two women not involved in the disturbance have nothing to do with it, just stuck their nose in. They've approached and allegedly assaulted them. So they've assaulted the police. That's what they've said in a statement. A 30-year-old male sergeant, a 56-year-old male senior connie, and a 30-year-old female constable sustained injuries and were taken to hospital. Wow. 3 on 3, and two of those alleged attackers were women. Crikey. So a 23-year-old Caboolture man, 19-year-old Seven Hills woman, 19, and an 18-year-old Torquay woman have been charged with 2 counts each of seriously assaulting police. That's ridiculous. 19 and 18, these girls. So Queensland Police Union President Shane Pryor said it was not acceptable for frontline officers tasked with protecting the community to be injured at work. We are seeing people willing to engage with police in a violent way, increasing. No two ways about it, he said. Police are not punching bags. Respect them. Respect ma authority. So that's Shane Pryor right there. He sat next to me while I was doing my interview, when they were treating me like a criminal because I didn't take the jab. Good old Shane was sitting right next to me. After the police union had already signed off on everything and agreed with the Catarina that, they should be able to force us all to take the jab. So he sat there and, as support, very well knowing that he actually supported the other side and he was part of the cause of it. Anyway. So he goes on to say, he said it was disgusting to see onlookers making light of the situation, describing mobile phone footage of the event as harrowing and absolutely sickening. The senior connie who was making the arrest was actually punched in the back of the head by a female bystander. Like, that's what I just said. I felt more uncomfortable with some of the ladies standing around. So he's making the arrest. Female, one 18 or 19-year-old punches him in the back of the head. That's you're an idiot if you do that. Which essentially rendered him unconscious and he hit the ground. So Price said he went through the academy with the senior Connie who's worked with the inner city beat for some time. He went back to work last night, and that should show the Queensland community how dedicated he is. He said one sergeant suffered, well, there's only one sergeant there, so the sergeant suffered abrasions from an eye gouge. Crikey. That's disgusting. But all officers involved are expected to make a full recovery. Okay, so look, as I said, it's disgusting behaviour. But unfortunately, I think, and this isn't just a Queensland Police issue. I think police all over our great land have actually caused this. The leadership, anyway, have caused this issue. For one, they have allowed the hiring of people who should not be on the job. And I'm not saying any of these people shouldn't be on the job, but and how I'm saying why I'm saying this, how I'll justify this line of thought is we see so many police officers who they can't handle the pressure. So many police officers have lashed out and assaulted, like just the other day, the Indigenous male in Western Australia, standing there. Okay, whatever he was doing, but he's standing. It seemed like he could hardly even stand up himself. You know, he seemed intoxicated. He was a fairly frail looking fella, a young police officer, a lot taller, a lot bigger, a lot more fit. And by the footage, just going by the footage, throws him, just sweeps his legs out from underneath him and tosses him to the ground. Which, if that was anyone else without a uniform, you'd be looking at an assault charge. You'd be investigating an assault charge. And there's these things going on. You had in Victoria, you had from years ago. There's been a heap of things in Victoria, but I said the other day there was that police officer who walks up behind a guy. I think he was in a railway station, just grabs him and throws him, hurls him onto the ground, cracks his head, and in the end, I don't think he even got charged. In Queensland, you had the officer Alistair North gets there's an attempt. There's someone who's trying to do some crime in the area. Alistair North hears the description of the person. Of course, he goes and picks someone up who doesn't fit the description because that's what you do. Someone's trying to break into vehicles, and he's got a car and wearing a black. Sorry, not got a car. Got a push bike and wearing a black hoodie. So according to Alistair North, you pick up the guy who's not pushing a push bike and not wearing a black hoodie. That's his intelligence. So you've got incidents like this that go on all the time. You've got incidents where the police officer who was caught, it seems like he was caught drink driving, but then police screw up the charges. They don't do the investigation properly and they have to drop the charges. You have all these little incidents, or the New South Wales cop who tases the old lady and she ends up dying. All these little things, when they're brought together, they're all sitting in the mind, in the public eye, in the memory of the public. And the public don't look at police anymore and think authority and respect. They just look at police and think we've got thugs. We've got thugs. They're all thugs. They can't be trusted. They're just violent, and they, we don't need to respect them. And this has been because different hierarchies, different leadership they've dropped the standards for the people that they've allowed in. Because they're so adamant that they wanted a 50-50 ratio, they've dropped the standards, and they get a lower class of officers that think it's okay to deal with, like the Queensland officer the other day, dealing in stolen goods. Well, I mean, what the heck? Dealing in stolen goods? You're a senior Connie and you're dealing in stolen goods? These kinds of things erode confidence in our police services nationwide. But leadership have allowed the erosion because they have gone They have lowered standards constantly. They're instead of having a higher standard and holding out and making sure that we have police that can handle the stresses of the jobs, making sure they don't have officers who are swayed by criminal elements, and making sure they don't have police who are just looking for, what was it, money and lifestyle. Remember, this is what Queensland Police Service, the union, they identified. Well, if we want to find new people, if we want to get all these young people in, they're interested in money and lifestyle. The problem is, if you're recruiting people, young people who are just interested in money and lifestyle, they are not serving the community. They are just serving their own selfish ambitions. If you want to be a police officer, you need to be somewhat community orientated. And I'm not saying that you can't be looking out for your own career and your own career advancement, but you also need to be looking out for the community and wanting to help people, and not just chasing after things because you're going to be making more money, because you're looking for the next promotion. Not be going out and just, someone getting on your nerves because they're a bit drunk and they're standing there, so you just go and knock them to the ground and drive off. These kinds of things all chip away at public confidence in our police. And this is why we have nufties getting in and attacking good police officers who are just trying to deal with a situation at 4 o'clock in the morning in the Valley in Brisbane. So Shane Pryor, okay, and all the other leadership, all the unions and the leadership teams, this has been on you. Shane Pryor, you were a part of the erosion. You're the one that you mightn't have led the attack on good police officers who just didn't want to get the jab, but you were definitely there in the background sorting things out, making sure that Katarina and her little cohort were able to do that job, were able to go in and stab people in the back. You were part of the problem. You lost a heap of good officers, and you're part of the erosion of confidence. You've instigated some of these measures that have been brought in. This is just, I'm sorry, but this is what I think. Police have brought this, not police on the ground necessarily, but the leadership and the people that make the decisions on recruitment. They have brought this upon themselves by hiring people that shouldn't be in the job, allowing people to continue. People like the Alistair Norths who go and do just absolutely stupid things, and then allow them in, and then other good officers who, maybe they just don't want to get the jab or something, shoving them out. People who actually want to think about things, they'll go and shove them out. They will embrace officers who will do, assault officers. Like, let's see what happens with this guy in WA. WA police, are they going to actually go after and investigate this properly, or is this just going to be swept under the rug? Because that's the problem. When they don't when they don't face up to their own hypocrisy, the public just don't take kindly to it all and just lose respect. And then the public, idiot 18, 19, 23-year-olds are out there thinking that they have the right, they're justified to attack police because police don't respect the public, so the public no longer respect the police. And Shane Pryor, while you are right in some instances, I think you can also bear some of the blame. That's just my opinion. I'm Jay Fallon. Please let me know what you think. Thanks for listening to The Slippery Slope.
They just fuel the desire that will take me higher. I'm on fire because nothing's gonna bring me down. Nothing's gonna bring me down. Nothing's gonna stop me now. No one deals to be done. And nothing's gonna just focus on me goal. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna hold me down. gonna say